So I'm from Fulgent, and we're at Temple City. It's about maybe 8 miles away from here. I just want to give you quickly a brief industry overview. If I knew how to turn off this thing on the side, maybe I could do. Here we go. I don't know, is that? Control. Oh, perfect. Thanks. So we do genetic testing. The market is about $3.8 billion. That's in 2015, and it's got a pretty healthy growth. By 2021, we're looking at about $6.7 billion. Now, what's so interesting here is that it's global. That's one thing, but what's really interesting is that there was about 700 laboratories that do what we do. And overall, they're looking at about maybe 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,000 genes. And you have about 63,000 different genetic tests. And at Fulgent, we have probably the largest catalog of genetic tests in the world. Many of these labs, perhaps, I don't know, maybe 90% of them, you could put them in one catalog, and their catalog of genetic tests still would not be bigger than what we have. So what we were able to do at Fulgent is create something like a Lego for genetic testing. If you're a clinician, you can go, and if you're interested in a 3-gene panel, you just design a 3-gene panel. You can order a 3-gene panel, and you can order it and submit samples, and 3-4 weeks later you have the results. And it's very customizable. So we sort of look at clinicians, genetic counselors, medical geneticists, pediatricians, neurologists, cardiologists. Those are all our clients. And we're sort of look at them as a painters. And whatever color they like to get, we can make them whatever color they need. So we have some unique technologies that really enables us to do this. So there's some chemistries that we have. There's some proprietary bioinformatics, which is huge in today's world. Anyone can buy a sequencer, but it's really the data, how quickly you can identify what you're looking for. And so when we're putting our bioinformatics and our chemistries together, we can make it very, very affordable is the right word, or another word for it, we can make it pretty cheap and still be productive and profitable. So a little bit about Fulgent. We started the company in 2011, and I think since 2012 we were profitable. So what's behind Fulgent? It's really our experts. So let me touch a little bit on Ming Hsieh. Ming Hsieh is our president and CEO, and he's the founder of Fulgent. And Ming started company about 1990 on biometrics. It was basically a fingerprint scanning, and anytime you go through a customs and you do that fingerprint scanning, that's his technology. And it was and he grew it at the top of the market. They were about $3.5 billion company, and he sold it 2010 to 3M, and they went public 2004. So that's one of our founders. The other founder is Harry Gao, and Harry Gao comes from City of Hope. That's where I spent about 12 years, and I worked with Harry for a long time. And Harry was the director of our sequencing core and also director of our molecular diagnostic laboratory. So really, Fulgent is sort of a combination of bioinformatics, it's IT, and next-gen sequencing. We have people in our field that are bioinformaticians, genetic counselors, geneticists, scientists. I mean, all positions are open. We have over 700, maybe 800 clients throughout the world. We have clients in Finland, France. These are just some. All over the world, we get samples. Our mission is really to provide flexibility and affordability. We want to give patients the right test at the right time, right? And make sure it's really personalized. So why Fulgent? We do have very broad, flexible testing, and I'll show it to you in a minute. Some proprietary technology. We have proven business model. We're profitable. And really, we have very, very strong management team of people who have created billion-dollar companies before. So this is sort of an overview where you have really the next-gen sequencing. It's a fusion. It's a next-gen sequencing expertise, diagnostics expertise, IT, biometrics. To people, it's sort of interesting that the software engineers who created the engine for biometrics when you do your fingerprint scanning, and you basically scan someone, so within a fraction of a second they can identify it's Jakub. So actually Ming's technology, they were able to identify all the hijackers from 9/11 very quickly within a fraction of seconds, but then later on the system didn't catch them. But his technology was able to identify who they were, and they were on the list. But so the same people who created that engine, the IT behind it, the software engineers, they are with us at Fulgent. So what do we have, right? Where do we sort of differentiate from traditional labs, from all the 700 labs out there? We have it's a very fluent content. We have about 18,000 genes in our catalog. Those are if you think about it, that's the Lego. When you play with kids, if you got kids, it's the Duplo or Lego. So these 18,000 pieces that you have, and you can build anything you want. And then we have some also unique technologies that when we sequence the genes, not only do we detect single base changes and insertions, deletions, but we can also do copy numbers. And we can look for translocations. And so when we find a copy number, we know exactly what part of the gene it is. So you can think about also a digital karyotyping we're looking at. There we go. So we have about 18,000 genes. Right now it says 200 panels, but we have over 400 gene panels. We do anything from single genes to you can order any combinations. We have these 400 preset panels. We do exomes and we do genomes. Our capacity is tremendous. We can do about, I think about 330 genomes a week to sequence. So if you need any genomes to sequence, we can sequence. We would be very happy to help you out with that. For cancer testing, we have very, very broad menu from breast, brain tumors, renal, thyroid, colorectal, prostate. We do have all the tests. For cardiology, neurology, it's a very big areas. So I just highlighted some of them here, but it's really, you can think of bleeding disorders, hemophilias and so on, eye, hearing, liver, lung, metabolics, renal, and so on. And then we also have some new test which is for copy numbers, which really replaces microarrays. It's very, very fast. It's pretty amazing test that we have. So in overall, you can have sequencers, but really what our platform does, or what the technology that we have, is very, very highly automated. And so when we get the samples and when we do the extractions, it's a very highly automated process how we can sequence things. And then we have an automated process for report generation. So we have some chemistries, and we have this adaptive software which sort of helps us to screen through data that once we see some things, that the next time we see it, we can do it faster and faster. So the more we sequence, the more reports we do, the faster we can do the reports, and it lowers the cost too. So that's kind of cool. Just a few things highlight about Fulgent. So we went public a few months ago. We have about 80. We have two locations. We have several locations, but we have 2 labs. One lab is here in LA. The other one lab is in China. We're building another lab in North America. There's about 80 people here in Temple City, and then there's about 80 people or 100 people in China. That market is very fast growing, and there's tremendous opportunities. We're profitable. What else I can tell you? We get business from around the world, and yeah, that's sort of the highlights of Fulgent. So I'll take any questions you may have, or you can email me, or just talk to me after the presentation. So thank you so much.